being very open and honest about the fact that I believe that The Hunger Games is the best book to screen adaptation I've ever seen in my life. They keep they're very true to page. They expand the characters. The casting is absolutely elite. Summer's on the Reaping casting team, I'm talking about you. But if I had to talk about one detail they left out of the movies that I think did do a lot of damage to the movies, and I wish they did include, and that's the fact that Peter doesn't have a leg. Peter is legless from Catching Fire to the end of the series. He does not have a leg. I'm not a book reader. I'll explain to you that in editing me here, I have just realised I explained this entire situation completely incorrectly. I say that Peter loses his leg in the fight with Kato. He doesn't. He loses his leg because his leg gets mauled by one of the wolf mutations. So I'm actually incorrect. So I cut that part out of the video, but it's gonna be weird and choppy. That's why. It's because I explained it wrong. So oh, what am I saying? So for movie watchers who didn't read the book, Peter loses his leg because it gets mauled by a wolf and then it gets badly infected and they can't save it. So I'm wrong, I'm sorry. In the games, he gets a really bad infection in his leg. The Capitol can't save it, even with like their high technology. They cannot save his leg. Ends up getting cut off, and he gets a prosthetic. I genuinely think leaving this detail out of the movie did a lot of damage because it explains a lot of Peter's struggles and actions as the movies go on. Like in Catching Fire, I was talking to my brother about this. My brother hasn't read any of the books, but in Catching Fire, he was like, Peter doesn't do anything. I'm like, it's because in the books, Peter doesn't have a leg. He has to relearn how to do basically everything he learned in the first games the year after. Like, he hasn't really had a chance to adapt to not having a leg. Like, I feel like having a year to relearn how to do a bunch of things isn't that much time. And he has to relearn how to basically fight for his life with only one leg. Peter goes through so much loss within a very short amount of time. So he loses his leg at the end of the 74th games. Katniss finds out that Peter loses his leg during their Victor interview with Caesar Flickerman. That's when she finds out, and she ends up burying her head in his chest because she's like, "This is literally my fault that you had to go through this," and she doesn't want the Capitol to see her cry. Kind of also instilling this like fear of perception that Katniss has, and Peter thinks this entire thing is real, and then they get on the train and he finds out that she was acting the whole time she isn't actually in love with him. Well, he's been in love with her the entire time. So Peter loses his leg. He then finds out the girl he loves doesn't love him back, and the entire thing was an act. He's going back home to a family that didn't think he was going to win the game, so he's not even going back to people that he loves or people that love him. He's going back to people who didn't have any belief in him. A year later, he then finds out he has to go back into the game with more of a disadvantage because he has to learn how to do the entire thing without a limb. Our boy was really going through it, and I don't think the movies highlighted that enough.